What's up, Nova Heads? It's Amber Nova.
This is Chris Lights Out Lytle.
Hi, this is Ray Boom Boom Mancini.
It's Boogie.
It's the real and raw August Art Swap.
This is Smiling Sam Alvey.
It's Archimedes.
I'm Jack Cartwheel, the real deal, the human highlight reel.
This is Steve Maury.
I'm Victor Henry.
It's ECW Original, The Enforcer, C.W. Anderson.
This is Honest John.
Moreno. It's Mr. Classic, Anthony.
I'm Jason Punet.
The young ghost.
It's old Howdy Price here.
When I say what's my name, tonight.
Richie Slade.
My name is Gino Rivera, the Frank Sinatra of the Spanish Mafia.
The incredible one, Anthony Idol.
This is King Shamrock.
The Golden Boy, Jordan Clearwater.
Yo, watch and listen.
Championship Online.
Podcast with
This is Alex Mars here. Hi, Richard Modest.
So, please listen to it, otherwise be cursed. Okay, see you later, lovely dinners.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're now watching and listening to Championship on the Line podcast. My name is Alex, and joined as always is my co-host Rich. And today is a very, very special episode here at Championship on the Line because we have a pro wrestler in the house who's been wrestling all over the state of California, over at EWF, over at California Championship Wrestling, over at Pro Wrestling Unplugged, and also just dropped a little announcement that April 16th, this gentleman right here will be at Venue Wrestling Entertainment for the Orange County Rumble. Again, this is going to be really amazing. Again, April 16th, Venue Wrestling Entertainment. Rey Genesis will be Orange County Rumble. And also, please go follow him and everything, social medias. And I'm so excited to have him, ladies and gentlemen, the King of Lights, Rey Genesis.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you so much for the invite.
Oh, no, man. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to have you on. Again, we've seen you wrestle a few times, a few shows here in California. But before we get to talk about that, we'd like to do a quick segment where we do top 10 questions, a little questions about yourself. Is that cool to do that for you?
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it.
Awesome. Take it away, Rich.
Awesome. We'll start right away with number one. How did you get introduced into pro wrestling?
Oh, man. Well, we're going to take it back. Okay. So pretty much, I want to say it was like the early 2000s. I remember my dad was watching SmackDown, watching an episode of SmackDown, and that's what got me hooked. I forgot what episode it was a long time ago, but I just remember seeing Eddie Guerrero and The Big Show, and that's what got me hooked. And him saying Triple H, and I was like, who's Triple H? And, then I got hooked.
Cool. Awesome. With the next question, what is your favorite movie of all time?
Ooh, let's see. That's a tough one. I want to say the original Spider-Man.
Oh, nice.
I'm a Tobey Maguire fan.
Oh, my God. Yes. It's crazy because, I always because I grew up watching it. We both did, and we kind of grew up almost watching the Maguire. Mm-hmm. And I always think he was the best one. Those are great, but I think he's the best one, in my opinion.
Oh yes, by far. I haven't gotten into the Tom Holland movies yet, even though I've seen them in the MCU and the Spider-Man No Way Home, but I've always been a Tobey Maguire fan.
Yeah, same. Awesome. With the next one, what is your favorite TV show of all time?
Ooh, you guys are throwing out the tough questions here. Let's see. Okay, it's gonna be a tie between South Park.
Okay.
That 70s show.
Ooh.
And Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Nice. Well, that's a good mix. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But out of those three, though, which one could you pick, though?
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm a big Nickelodeon fan.
Oh, yeah, same here. Yeah, I grew up watching nothing. I mean, obviously, when you're little, you have, Nickelodeon, you have Disney, but I think Nickelodeon was a little bit better.
Oh, heck yeah, that's the best cartoons.
Absolutely.
Nice. With the next question, what is your favorite music or artist you like to listen to?
Oh, so I love listening to electronic music, EDM.
Oh,
That is
nice.
my go-to. That is my go-to. We'll probably talk about it more down like in the interview, but EDM and my favorite artist from that genre, it's a mix between Slander and Sudden Death. They're like two big dubstep artists right now, killing it.
Nice. Have you been to any like shows or concerts?
Oh man, all the time. But I'm not wrestling. They have shows and sometimes I'll go out there and do my thing. When I'm not wrestling, just enjoy life and go to the concerts.
Nice. The next question: do you have a favorite sport team?
I do. I am a big soccer fan. So my team right now is Real Madrid from Spain.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
yeah.
Who's your favorite player from that team?
Right now it has to be Benzema.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So he's killing it too right now at his age. So he's doing really well for the team.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially like coming up with the whole Madrid and Barcelona.
Oh yeah, I know. And then they're I think their next match for the Champions League is against Chelsea.
Yeah.
In April. So that should be a good one.
Absolutely, yeah.
Awesome. Next question: favorite video game of all time?
Ooh. I have to say Grand Theft Auto series.
Yeah.
Those are always my favorite growing up. And second would have to be, of course, the WWE games, but Grand Theft Auto was always my favorite.
Nice. Yeah, like cause like every like from San Andreas to like I'm drawing a blank, but like every single Liberty Stories, every single one was like awesome. Like I think they never had one that like it never missed.
No, Vice City, Liberty City, San Andreas, even GTA 5 was like, oh man. Yeah. So I'm very excited to see what they do next with like GTA 6 and all that.
Yeah, no, I know, because like Alex and I were talking about that I think now they just introduced it to like the Nintendo Switch. Awesome now. I'm like, okay, that means something's gonna come. Something's coming big. So hopefully something soon.
So excited for that.
I know. Awesome. Favorite meal you like to eat?
Meal. Let's see. I would have to say a burger. I'm a burger guy.
Yeah.
Nice.
So if I go to a restaurant, I always pick a burger.
Nice.
Even after what was that? Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. You're good.
I said after a wrestling show, I'm really hungry, so I just get a burger and sit down and just enjoy that, just devour it after a long day of wrestling.
Nice. Is there like a specific, like Alex and I always have like a debate with all the wrestlers, like In-N-Out, Five Guys, or like Tommy's? Is there a specific like go-to spot?
It depends. It just depends. Like there's times where I'll go In-N-Out for sure after like a late night. But honestly, it just depends whatever's open.
Nice.
Whatever's open, like if it's like Denny's or like IHOP or Applebee's, whichever is open. I'm hungry, guys. Let's go eat.
Nice. Can't ever go wrong for burger.
Yeah.
Nice. The next question. This is a fun one. You're at 7-Eleven and you only could pick 5 items. What would those items be?
Oh wow! All right. A rain.
Okay.
Gum.
Nice.
Water. A protein bar.
Okay.
And Sour Patch Kids.
Nice.
That'll be it. That'll be my go-to.
Cool, man. Awesome. Cool. Yeah. Every time we ask is like, it's like they take a minute. It's like, oh man, and then it just like gets to the thing. And, yeah, it was cool.
Nice.
Awesome.
Always get the protein somehow.
That's true. You have to, yeah. Absolutely. You got it.
Got it.
Nice. Outside of wrestling, do you have a hobby you like to do?
I do. So I mentioned EDM. I produce and DJ my own music when it comes to that genre. Not a lot of people know that in the wrestling world, so yeah, I keep it kind of separate. But that's what I do on my and not just that, but also like going to the gym, working out, which is also important. But those are the two main things: working out and making music.
That's so awesome. That's cool because like it's two different arts, and you got to be so creative. Whether it's like pro wrestling and making music, that's so cool. Nice. Yeah, we're gonna get into that for sure. That's really awesome. I want to hear that. Next question: do you have a ritual you like to do before a match?
Ritual. So, I never noticed that every time I go out before I start like jumping up and down, just getting my body loose. Just staying loose. I do a little running, like around circles. And then I just think about just going out there and putting on the best match I could put on. I also think about not hurting my opponent, keep him safe or her safe, and just go out there with a positive attitude and just have the best damn match I can have.
Nice. Last but not least, if you could face someone in the wrestling match who isn't a wrestler, it could be a fictional character, a celebrity, a pro athlete, who would it be with?
Oh man. Let's see. Hey man, get my boy Tom Holland in there. He did a great sequence with Green Goblin at the last scene they did.
Yeah.
When he was about to like kill Green Goblin, and they had a good throwdown. So give me Tom Holland.
Nice. But how would you see that match playing out?
Oh man, that'd be great. I would have fun. He's very light and he could be fast. So hey man, like I'm fast and I have strength, so I could pick up that twerp and just slam him down. Slam him.
Well, did you win?
Oh heck yeah. I'll win. Heck yeah. I don't care if he has wet fluid. I'll kick his butt.
Awesome. But once again, Ray, thank you so much for being on the podcast. We really appreciate taking the time.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
No, absolutely. And talking about how you got introduced to wrestling, but like even like I gotta ask this, but like how did you come up with the name Rey Genesis?
Okay, so I didn't come up with it. My dad actually did.
Oh, nice.
My dad's a really big pro wrestling fan. So I mentioned before, like he put on SmackDown, but even during that time, he would watch like the old El Santo Blue Demon movies on TV.
Yeah,
he would always watch those, and I would watch them with him. Just not knowing what it was, and as I got older, we still kept watching wrestling, and one day he was like, I want you to, be on TV and wrestle. And I'm like, no, I'll do it. I love wrestling, I love pro wrestling. I love lucha libre. So I remember one day in high school, he just bust out a notebook, started making designs of a mask. And he just started doing a bunch. And one day he made this one, something similar to this one. And he put the name Rey. And he's like, I like that. I like the name Rey because I'm a big Rey Mysterio fan. And he's like, yeah, I like the name Rey, but we should have had something else to it, add another name. I'm like, oh, well, I don't know. And then he started thinking, I started thinking, and he's like, how about Rey Discipulo? I don't like that. And we kept that for a while, and then right before I started training, I had looked at. I was working at a place, and my friend had a car called a Genesis, And I told my dad, "What do you think about Genesis?" And he's like, "Oh, he started looking it up on Google and see what it meant. He's like, "Oh, you know what? This goes Rey Genesis." I'm like, "Awesome, let's do it." So he threw the old design out and made another concept, which is this one. And he put Rey Genesis, and he's like, "You want to go do this?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." And that was it.
That's so cool because it's very, very rare that you ever see sometimes the parents kind of getting involved, or sometimes the parents how they react when especially the kid wants to be a professional wrestler. But for you, your dad was making your mask and coming up with the names. It's so cool. It's exactly what he wanted you to do, is to become professional, to be a professional wrestler. And what was that reaction when you told them "Hey, I'm gonna do this"? How did he react to the news that you're gonna be in the business?
So he was very happy. He was like, "We support you." Well, so this goes back to my mom now.
Yeah.
So my mom had told me that her dad, years ago in Mexico, would take my mom and her siblings to Guadalajara to go see pro wrestling. So, me not knowing that, she told me years later after my grandpa passed away years ago. But she had told me, "Oh, mijo, your grandpa would take me and your aunts and uncles to Mexico, Guadalajara, to watch wrestling." And I didn't know that. And that was during the time where I was already thinking about doing pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You'd be very happy if you ever did it one day." And then, one day, I was thinking about doing pro wrestling in high school and into my college years. That was it. That was it. After I graduated from college, from the university, because the thing was that you can't do pro wrestling or anything else until you get a degree. You have to have a degree to do pro wrestling or anything you want to do in life. Okay, if we don't do that, we're not going to support you. So that was my mindset during my college years. So I was like, okay, if I want to do pro wrestling or be a luchador, I have to get my degree. So once they saw me walk on stage, my graduation day, I was like, all right, here's my degree. I'm doing pro wrestling.
Oh, wow, that's awesome, cool.
And they're like, awesome, go do it.
And then also, that's so cool. Yeah, man. It's crazy because and then what was that reaction when they first saw you wrestle live? What was that moment like for you?
Oh, man, it was amazing. I think my mom started crying when she saw me after. Wow. My mom started crying. I don't know because I got beat up or whatever, but she started crying, and my parents were like, "Wow, you're actually doing it." Even to this day, they see me wrestling, like, "Wow, you're actually doing it."
That's so cool.
They're very happy.
Oh, absolutely, and especially with what you're capable, what you doing in the ring. I mean, how can a parent not be proud of you? Because Rich and I, we got to say wrestle, a couple times, and the things that you've done in the ring, it's, and you keep getting better and better and better every time you step in the ring, and it's amazing.
Yeah, I think so too. Every time I'm in the ring, where EWF or California Championship or, anywhere, I feel like I'm getting better, and that's what it takes is get in the ring, do your put in your reps, and keep getting better.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I totally agree. And take me back to so originally what school did you train at?
Oh, okay. Oh, wow, this is so I've been all over. I'm not gonna I've been all over. So I'll take it back to right now I'll say I am originally from the School of Pro Wrestling Unplugged, which is in Santa Maria, run by Billy Blade.
Okay.
That is my school. He is my trainer, but I'm gonna take it back a bit just because where I'm from and where I live, there's no wrestling school around me.
Oh, okay.
So, EWF is 3 hours away. Pro Wrestling Unplugged is 2 hours away. and so on. But when I first started, was back in 2017. I traveled 4 hours to Northern California to do my first ever pro wrestling training. And it was me and a buddy, a very good friend of mine, and we were like, screw it. Let's go do it. Because the night before, we went to go see a pro wrestling show here in town from Knox Pro. And that's what the first time I met my buddy was at the Knox Pro show.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, hey, dude, what's up? And he was like, hey, like, he sent me a flyer for a seminar up in Northern California saying, do you want to be a pro wrestler? You know, blah, blah, blah. Lucha Libre, ran by a guy named Skyler. Skyler is probably the most very respected lucha libre trainer in pro wrestling. He's trained Kalisto, Cesaro, Ali, the Lucha Brothers. I was like, oh, this guy seems legit. Okay.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So, you know, we got in the car, drove 4 hours the next day on a Sunday. And, oh, man, it was something else. I'll tell you that. Because it wasn't like traditional American style wrestling. It was right in, all right, we're doing Lucha Libre right now. I'm going to show you how to, you know, how to bump, how to run the ropes, how to do flying stuff. But very basic, but oh man, I was so sore right after. But ever since that day, I was like, wow, I got hooked.
And what was it like too, going like your first day? Like, what did like the whole day consist of with training and everything?
So for me, you know, so right before I go to training, you know, I get all my stuff, you know, my knee pads, my mask, my protein, my water, and then, you know, I just take the drive. I don't really think about it as much nowadays. I just, you know, I'm just more chill now. I still take it serious. I always take it seriously when I'm training, but before I would get so nervous. I'd be like, oh man, I don't want to mess up today, you know. Because when I first started training, you know, I did catch on quick, but there's times where I would doubt myself, like, oh man, like, am I doing this right? Or, you know, because, you know, I started Lucha Libre. That was my first training, was Lucha Libre training. And then, you know, so I went to that school, which is it was Arena Hayward back in 2017. Then it closed down. But after that school closed down, I went to a school in Fresno called Best of the West, ran by Mike Ray. So I consider him as well as a trainer. And I did a couple of trainings, and he taught me, you know, American style pro wrestling, the very basic, you know, chaining and all that. And he's the one that told me, you know, I know you're driving pretty far, so you know, here's a guy I know. He goes by Billy Blake. He might have a school down where you're at. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And so you know, I contacted Billy, and he's like, oh yeah, come on down. And you know, he kind of helped me polish who I am as a wrestler. He, you know, he's the one that tells me, you know, do less, but be smarter in the ring. You know, that's the one thing he tells me all the time. You know, you could work smarter, don't work harder. Yeah. He has that old school mentality, and I've heard it not just from him, but also from my Lucha Libre trainer, which is Skyler, because I actually I trained with Billy. Then I went down to Mexico City to go train with my Lucha Libre trainer for about 10 days. I was out there training with the best of the best. And that was probably the hardest thing I ever did.
And also too, like with training, well, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, Right. We're training with with different people. Like, what was the biggest difference from doing your training from Mexico and from doing your training from here? Or was it like a big difference, or was like the same?
Oh no, it was very different, man. So here in America, I would say American pro wrestling training, the American style is very slower paced.
Mm-hmm.
You take more of your time. In Mexico is very fast paced, very fast paced. So my first day, so I was already wrestling here in California, but I wanted to go down to Mexico, to see if I could prove myself with the luchadores. And this is right before COVID happened too. Right before, so I went down there and came back in February of 2020. So you can imagine, I was very lucky to come back. So my first day, oh my gosh, I had trained with him I had trained with my trainer before that in Colorado, but when I went down to Mexico, he picked me up and everything. He's like, all right. After he picked me up from the airport, he took me straight to the gym. He's like, I know you're tired. I know you've been up all night, but we're doing this right now. There's no vacation. Like I told you, I'm gonna push you, and I'm gonna push you. And oh my god, man, there's at least 30 guys in that ring, just rolling, running, doing dives, doing arm drags, different variations of arm drags. And oh my god, I was there for at least 3 hours. 3 hours, and I'm not gonna lie, I got back to his house. I was staying at his house, and I got into bed and I was crying. I was crying, man. I was hurting so bad because so not a lot of people know this, but the Mexico rings are very stiff, very stiff, and that ring was, oh my gosh, I was hurt. I didn't get used to it until like maybe like day 6, day 5, or around there. So oh man, it was tough, but I learned a lot from that training session during my time over there. It taught me to work on my cardio. It got my cardio up big time. It taught me to I work with different guys out there, so it taught me to be more confident in myself. Not to go in scared anymore, or doubting myself. Now after I came back, I was I got this. I could go with anyone in the ring, and just because I've been through that training over there, and I know what it's like to be pushed to the limit. So that was probably the greatest experience I had in my life.
And especially too, because sometimes a lot of these wrestlers will only go to train one place or maybe two, but for you going to these different places, going to different schools and learning these different styles, how much has that helped you become the wrestler that you are today?
Oh man, it's helped me a lot. It helped me adapt to different wrestlers and their own style very quick, because I believe in getting better by going to different places, because every trainer has their own style. Billy Blade has his own style. Mike Rain has his own style. Skyler has his own style. I did some training with EWF with Jesse and them. They have their own style. So, it's always good to pick their brain and their own training, because at the end of the day, you're wrestling different people every time at every town, So you got to learn how to adapt that. And not many wrestlers go out and, go out of their comfort zone and train at other places, And I believe that it's good to do that, so you could be the better wrestler that you want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And also too, talking about training, you also had the opportunity to go to New Japan Dojo and train with Rocky Romero. Talk me back. What was that moment like going over there and training, especially a guy like, because Rich and I, we've seen Rocky Romero wrestle so many times, He's an amazing wrestler. And talking about getting to work out with that guy, what was that whole experience like for you?
Oh man, the experience was great. We so it's crazy, man. Oh man, it happened like 2019, I believe. It's been a while. But oh man, we had guys like, so I was there, Benny Wasco was there, Jake Atlas was there, Quincy. You remember Quincy? He's gonna debut soon.
Yeah.
Honest John. Oh man, we had a bunch of guys. And oh man, Rocky's probably like the best. I had the best time with Rocky there. Like he taught us like what to expect when you come into New Japan Pro Wrestling. Like he taught us like just everything, like how to get in shape, how to do their own cardio, how to lock up, pretty much what New Japan wants in the wrestlers. That's what he taught us. And he was so cool. He was very patient because some of those roles were like kind of like judo roles, and not a lot of wrestlers know that. So he was very patient in that, and I kind of I like that because he's a great coach, and you can see that through him. He's been wrestling for a lot of years, so it was a great time being with him and all those guys too. We're all supportive of each other, and I remember from that day, like we were all super supportive. We were like, come on, like you got this. We were all like encouraging each other. That was cool.
That's so cool, and especially too, with coming from doing lucha libre background and then going to New Japan, especially with New Japan being kind of a different style, strong style, more technical. For you, was that doing that training? Was that transition kind of different for you, or was it kind of something you were kind of used to, or easy for you, or was it something that you kind of had difficult learning a new style?
No, I kind of caught on very quick, just because a few months back I did a seminar with TJP. So he had taught us how to do those roles, how to do that training, because he has that New Japan training. And I was like, after that day, I'm like, oh, thank you TJP for showing me, because I caught on quick. And they saw that, so I was like, so that was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, especially with TJ Perkins. I mean, he's been wrestling for such a long time and wrestled in New Japan. And yeah, you don't want, I don't think he's the best. I mean, when it comes to that, I think there's no one better than him.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But going, learning from all these different places, what has been like the best advice that you've been given so far?
To always be consistent in wrestling. With your training, with your diet, when doing shows, always be consistent, but also be patient as well. Don't be what's the word? Don't be like don't push it. Like, say something's not happening, just wait.
Yeah.
Don't be anxious. Be like, oh, like, when's it coming? Be patient. I've learned that from my beginning in training. When I first started wrestling, like, they always taught, be patient. Like, your time will come. There's times where I don't listen sometimes, and I want it to happen now. But I always tell myself, I gotta be patient. It's gonna come, and just in life, anything you want to do, it's gonna take time. So that's pretty much what I've learned.
And especially, during your time, during the beginning time of training, was there like, specific, video of like certain wrestlers that you would watch to kind of get like inspiration for your ring style?
So, yeah. So I would go back and watch like old school Rey Mysterio matches. Especially him and Eddie back in the day, WCW. I would also watch the old school AAA matches from the 90s. Those are awesome. Good. Yeah. Those are awesome. Those, like, probably one of, like, I'll still go back and watch them just like to see what I could pick. Especially now, I watch like the current product of Lucha Libre. Not much so WWE or AEW, even though I do study it, but I always go back to like Mexico wrestling. That's just what I love, you know. It's weird. Like I love American pro wrestling style, but there's something about Lucha Libre style that just hooks me. It just makes me like go like, oh my god, you know. even as I grew up, it was always Lucha Libre. Always Lucha Libre. And we would always watch it on TV.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Rich and I, same thing. We would watch the old school, like the AAA videos, the CMLL, watch those old
CMLL,
videos, which was awesome.
Vampiro, Atlantis, like so many.
Mystical,
the original Mystical, Blue Panzer, Blue Demon, all those LA Park, La Parca. Oh my gosh.
And the same thing with us too. Like we grew up kind of watching Lucha Libre, and we always say that Lucha Libre is the best style. Honestly, we're rooting they're able to do. But take me back when you had your first match. Like, what was that whole experience like for you going out for the ring for the first time out of the curtains? Like, take me back to that moment. What was that feeling like for you?
Oh man, so my career has been weird. I always say my first match was at a battle royal. But then again, I always say my first match was at a one-on-one match. I guess we could say both. So the first time I stepped into that ring was in a battle royal. It was in my hometown. My family was there. That's where my mom started crying. Oh man, I remember it was during the summertime, and it was the last show ever for that building, because they were gonna tore that building down. That building was like gone, like it's done. So they had told me, come out, and it's your hometown. Just come out, help out, pay your dues, put on the ring, whatever, do all that. And then days before, they had told me, all right, you're gonna be in the battle royal. I'm like, what? Yeah, you're gonna be in the battle royal. I'm like, holy crap! I don't know if I'm ready. Like, I was excited, but I was like, holy crap! I don't think I'm ready. So the day of the show, it was the main event. It was the main event battle royal. So I was excited. I was nervous. All my family came. My friends. I did not wear this mask. I wore a different gimmick because this mask wasn't made yet. But I had a different gimmick on, and right when the music hit, I was like, "Oh my god! Like, I'm doing this. I'm going out there. I was literally behind the curtain, just telling myself, like, we're doing this. It's real. Like, I'm doing this not only for myself, but for my family that supported me. Like, we're doing this." And I hear my music, and I take a second, and I'm like, I go out there, I'm like, yeah, let's go. Like, I was ready to go. And I just take a moment, and I'm like, holy crap. Like, I just see people, like a bunch of people out there. And for the last show that's going to happen at this historic building, I was like, okay, we're doing this. and that building, so that building has been up for like, I think since the 1930s. So it's called the Bakersfield Dome. I don't know if you guys heard of it, the Dome here in Bakersfield, and a lot of wrestlers came to that building. Ric Flair, Andre the Giant. What else? Who else? WWE hold trials there too.
Oh wow!
So it was a historic building, and for me to say that I got to have my first match in the main event, in the main event, before they tore it down, it's probably the best experience I could have.
Oh, absolutely.
So it was definitely awesome.
And then take me back. What was like having your first like singles match?
Oh man, that was also crazy because it was in Santa Maria for Pro Wrestling Unplugged, and they had told me, "Oh, you're wrestling against a guy named Yanni." He goes, he's not wrestling anymore, but it was like back in 2019. So you guys are doing a one-on-one, it's a student showcase match. It's your guys' debut, and I was ready because I had that experience of the battle royal, and then I had done a few battle royals, and right before that singles match, and I was like, "Oh, I'm ready. Okay, I'm ready." And I told my opponent, like, "We're gonna bring it. We're gonna kill it. We're gonna throw the house down." And right before the match started, I was telling myself, like, "Here we go, here we go." And, my first one-on-one match in front of a crowd. I was telling myself, like, again, I'm doing this for myself, for my family. And right before that, my music came. I just went out through the curtain. I was like, "Here we go, we got this." And that match was probably one of my favorite matches I've had as well.
Mm-hmm.
My first match. It came out so good. People enjoyed it. We got a reaction. And even after the match, all the fans were like, "Oh my God, you guys did so well. You guys look like you've been doing this for years." And I'm like, and that felt amazing,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Having them telling me like, "Oh, you've been doing this for years." I'm like, "No, this is my first match in my head." I was like, and then having little kids come up to me like, "Oh my God, you did so good," and that was so cool.
I was gonna say that too. Like, how did it feel too? Like to have like a first fan interactions, especially with kids and adults. Like, what was the whole experience like for you? Just someone come up with you.
Oh man, it feels great. Like, not knowing like me, just where I come from and my background. I'm like, wow, this is so cool. Like, I never thought I would experience this, and I always like having the fans be more about them than me.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're there to see us. They're there to enjoy the show, and they're spending their own money to go see live pro wrestling, and I like to give them that experience that they deserve.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. And one thing, Rich and I, the first time we ever saw you wrestle was, I believe it was the Riverside Tamale Festival. For
okay. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember going there and watching, because it's the first time I've ever been to the Tamale Festival, and going there and watching the wrestling matches and watching you, and again, Rich and I were just talking about just watching you wrestle, because we knew you were. We saw videos and seeing posts and stuff, but watching you was amazing. Just watching you, and then doing the Battle Royal too later that day, doing the main event. It was awesome.
Yeah. So you guys saw the tag match?
Yes.
So you guys missed the first match. So I had to wrestle right in the morning too.
Oh, yeah. So you did 3 matches that day.
I did 3 matches. So the first match, it was a 1-on-1 against Black Ninja. So he's someone that you guys know very familiar, but I'm not gonna say who it is. I'll just say he likes candy. And he's very beefy.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. And that was such a good match too. Oh my God, that was me and him threw down. As another one of my favorite matches was against him. So hopefully one day I get to get in the ring with him as someone else. But yeah, I did that match, and then I tagged with Super Beetle HD against Juan Roman and Black Metal. That was a fun match too.
And take me back to what was it like, because you done events for EWF, and also doing stuff for Hard Knocks Wrestling.
Yes.
What has been the relationship like working with EWF, working with Jesse Hernandez? What's the experience been like for you?
Oh man, it's been great. It's been awesome. I love working with EWF. They treat me like family. They really do. I'm not gonna lie. The first time I went to Hard Knocks for their tapings, I was very nervous. I was very nervous. You know, I was just like, man, like, what if they don't receive me good, or what if they? Because I'm an outsider. I'm an outsider, so I had to prove myself. And the first day I did the match and I filmed it. They're like, "Oh man, you're just so good." And Jesse already knew who I was, but he was like, "Oh, we're glad you're here. Like, we're so happy you're here, and we want you to keep coming more." And I did, and over time, everyone was super. The first day, everyone was super open arms. They were like, "Oh man, like, you're welcome anytime. Keep coming. Please keep coming." And that led to being on EWF shows. Even being at EWF with Jake and Jesse, like, same thing. It's been nothing but very positive for me. They're like, you're part of our family. And I feel like that every time I'm with them.
And it's crazy because we were just talking about, with Rocky Romero, and he came from there. He came from EWF and Hard Knocks. And talking about, especially doing, Hard Knocks Wrestling, how, was it difficult for you to wrestle, especially because, Hard Knocks Wrestling, there isn't like a live crowd there. So was it different for you, difficult for you to wrestle? Because especially with crowd, you're going for reaction. But for this with no audience, was it how difficult, or was it easy for you to do with no audience?
It wasn't. It was difficult, but it really wasn't. Just because, in training we do practice matches, and I kind of took it as that. It's like you're doing a practice match, but you have video cameras everywhere. So I think for me the hardest part was learning the camera angles, just where every camera was. But over time, as I was doing them, I would get there early and see where the camera is, where the hard cam, where are the angle cameras. And once I knew that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna work this camera. I'm working more of the hard camera. There's a guy filming too, going around the ring. I'm like, okay, if I'm close to that side, I'm gonna show more expression on this camera. So that's what I learned over time, was how to use those cameras. And I feel like a lot of people don't like doing, because this is during COVID, so not a lot of guys want to work just because of COVID, and I get that, but I feel like Hard Knocks Wrestling improves me 10 times more, just because I was wrestling and I was learning every time I was going there, but I was learning the camera angles, and that's very, very important when it comes to TV wrestling, because that's what it is. We're getting ready for TV. That's honestly the ultimate goal for wrestlers, for TV wrestling.
And what has been like? Has been any advice that Jesse Hernandez has given you, or any teaching moments that he's given you?
Yeah, he always tells me, be more interactive with the fans. You wear a mask. Be more interactive. Be more out there. And that always sticks to me whenever I'm wrestling, because when I'm out there, I'm like, okay, I'll be more interactive with the fans, and I'll have Jesse in the back of my ear, like, be more out there, be more aggressive. Okay, I got it.
And also too, going back in your career, what's been like your favorite moment or your favorite match so far?
Let's see. I want to say my favorite moment has been, so I did a dog collar match at California Championship Wrestling back in February. And I feel that's probably the best moment I've had so far, just because the brutality that match took on me and my opponent. The emotion was real that I went through that day. Like I was feeling very nervous because it's a dog collar match. There's a real chain.
Yeah.
You know?
That's crazy.
And oh my gosh, like I remember after that match, I went to the back. I started crying. I was like, oh my gosh, we got through it, and I started crying. I don't know why. I started crying, and I was thinking like, wow, I can't believe I just did this. Like dog collar match. I was very happy about it, but I was like, wow, it just got to me. Like holy crap, this just happened. But I was very happy. I was very happy about the match. So it was good. People, the fans loved it. It was
because I would say that too, especially with dog collar like matches, like is so much separation you could get from the chain, because I always feel like it's so difficult, like you can't go too far.
Yeah, it was so hard. So we did it like it wasn't pinned. We had to touch every corner. That's how we had to do. So that was very hard. Like say I was going for like the last corner, he would just pull me, and I'm just like, holy crap. I just take a hard bump. I'm like, man. But oh man, I was so proud of that match, and it was probably one of my favorite matches by far.
Oh yeah, man, that's awesome, man. Especially especially like there's not really a lot of wrestlers that get to do dog collar matches. So the fact that you got to do and experience it's only gonna help you and improve better,
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, because we were me and him, that my opponent, he goes by in the wall. We had like maybe a 4 or 5 months rivalry going on, and that was the blow off. I'm like, wow, like I'm glad we ended it that way.
That's awesome, man. That's so cool. And I want to try to switch topics, but like talking about with your creativity and what you do in wrestling, but also mentioning that you also did music. Talk to me about that. Like, what made you decide to start making music and writing music?
So I started back in 2014, I want to say. So I was in college during the time, and I listened to the music back in high school, and I thought it was super cool. I started listening to like Deadmau5 and Tiesto and all those guys. And then one day, Avicii is my go-to. When I was in college, I was like, I wanna get into it. Just see how it is, And I got my own $300 DJ set, and I got my $300 computer program, and just started making music. And from then on, I just kept going to shows, meeting people, doing more music. I still very involved with it, even with wrestling going on, just because I love having to have another creativity. So right now with my music, I have it where I'm doing sounds involving like pro wrestling sounds, if that makes sense.
Nice.
So I'm doing that just so I could, that way my wrestling fans know that I do music too. Come check this out. Come check my other side, because I honestly, I feel like I could do both passions of mine at the same time. I always follow Chris Jericho's advice that he says all the time on his podcast. Like, he does rock and roll and pro wrestling.
Yeah.
So why can't I do that? Because a lot of people tell me like, oh, you can't do that. You can't make music and headline a festival and go do wrestling. It's like, screw you. Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Like, like you could do whatever you want as long as you set your mind to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing music for about, I want to say almost 8 years now. And I just, I do it every day. Whenever I'm not training or whenever my day's winding down, I get on my piano and start making some type of melody that how I feel during the day. I feel like music is, you can write music better with how you feel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I do, and add some hard kicks, some hard snares, and big old drops, and start start going hard on the track. And then I have my own DJ set, which allows me to creatively when I'm mixing songs together. And I feel like that's awesome when it comes to like how the tracks intertwine together, and it sounds amazing. I feel very satisfying when that happens. It's weird, man. Like, it's weird. Like, a lot of people don't get me. Even my girlfriend doesn't get me. But they're like, "Why do you like robotic sounds and laser sounds?" I'm like, just how
it sounds awesome.
Sounds awesome to me. And it's also it hypes me up the day of a show. I'm go out there and wrestle. It just gets me in the mood. Like, all right, we got this. It just something that I love doing as well.
Mm-hmm. Will there be a moment where you come out to your own music?
Yes, I am currently working on a theme song for myself.
Oh, nice.
So
awesome.
So I am definitely working on that. I've had a few wrestlers hit me up about it that know that I do it if I can make their own. And right now, I'm focused on myself and see if it comes out right for me. Doing my own theme song. Maybe down the line I will, but right now just perfecting my craft as I keep doing it with the music.
And especially now with especially with your wrestling career, what are your current goals right now as it is? Like, where do you want to go? Where would you like to sign in the future?
Oh man, that's a good question. I mean, obviously my ultimate goal would be WWE, but I would be very happy if it came to CMLL, Triple A, New Japan, and AEW. AEW for sure, just because I love their schedule.
Yeah.
I love their schedule. I love how they only tape certain days out of the week and don't have to do house shows, which I'm sure that could change down the line. But I just like how they have other wrestlers can do other passions. Like you have Breaker, who was a dentist. You have Chris Jericho. He does his music. I just love that AEW provides that, and I feel like if AEW comes knocking on the door, I'm like, oh yeah, heck yeah, I'll sign. As long as I'm able to do my passions that I love doing right now. But WWE would be cool too, and obviously the Lucha Libre companies are amazing as well.
And then talk to me about in the future, who would you like to work with? Any specific names you'd like to have a match with?
Oh man, Rey Mysterio for sure. This Dorado, Ali for sure. Who else? Pretty much, everyone that has the championship too. That'd be amazing too. I know I'm looking on that EWF American title. I know my very good friend Trailer King has it right now. So,
is there a message you'd like to send out to Trailer King?
Oh, Trailer King, keep that title very tight on you, because the King of Light is coming for you. And you and I have had history in the past. So better be ready, man.
Oof. You don't have to book it.
Book it.
Yeah, right away.
And
But
also, I also want a match with Wicked.
Oh my God. Yes.
I always tell him, dude, I want a match with you. He's like, me too. Like, fuck, like no one's doing it. Come on.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. That'd be so awesome. Oh my God. That has to happen now.
Oh heck yeah. I love him. Like he's amazing, but I want to kick his ass. I want to see like where I could push him and where he could push me.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That would be. I think wherever card you guys end up like doing the match in, I think that'll steal the show because I think you guys both of you. I think both of you guys are so talented. You guys will steal the show for sure. That has to happen. Wicked was Rey Genesis has to happen.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God. Like every time I see him at Hard Knocks or at school, I'm like, "Are we wrestling today?" Like, no. I'm like, God, come on, man! Like, I want to wrestle you so bad. He's like, me too.
Oh man, absolutely, man. That has to happen for sure. But talking about if someone watching this and wants to become professional wrestler, wants to be in the business, what advice would you give to someone that wants to be a professional wrestler?
I would tell them to get in shape. Start going to the gym. Also, as you start training, make sure you open your ears and close your mouth. That's very important. Be coachable. Be patient as well.
Mm-hmm.
And also don't overwork yourself too. I believe in taking a little break here and then. I was a college athlete, high school athlete, so I do know what it feels like to be overtrained and messing with your mental state as well. So I do believe in taking a little break here and then, enjoy life. Don't get too buried into wrestling and the politics and all that. Always be yourself. Always be yourself. Don't change. Don't let wrestling change who you are. Always be yourself. Be true to you. Because at the end of the day, it could be gone quick like that.
Yeah.
Look at Big E. He poor guy, man.
Yeah.
Poor guy, and he's known to be a nice guy, so he's getting very good positive feedback from everyone. And I feel like he took the good road where he's at now. So
Absolutely,
be yourself. So
absolutely, man. Great advice. And again, thank you so much again for taking the time to be in this podcast, man. We really do appreciate it so much.
Oh no, thank you guys. You guys are awesome.
And before we wrap up, is there anything you want to plug in with social media, bookings, anything you want to announce?
Go ahead and follow me on social media at Rey Genesis Official on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter at Rey Genesis Lucha, I believe. And for upcoming bookings, I have Pro Wrestling Unplugged in Santa Maria on April 8th. And catch me at the VWE for the Rumble. I'll be there, Orange County, on April 16th. And maybe EWF down the road. We'll see.
Awesome. Again, we'll put down description down below where you can follow this man on all social medias, all his bookings coming up, and definitely do yourself a favor and follow his journey, because he's turning right down. And if you see him in a poster, if I were you, go buy a ticket, because this man's still a show and he's an amazing wrestler. So again, follow this man's journey. Put down the description down below of all social medias. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to do this, man. We're really happy.
Awesome, and thank you guys. You guys are great.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. And again, thank you guys for watching and listening to Championship Online Podcast. My name is Alex. His name is Richard. And we will see you guys next time here at Championship Online.